Yeah. Oh man, let me make sure my mic good. Should we go? Tone, give me the thumbs up so we good. I actually don't need the headphones. Be fine solo today. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Welcome back. Thursday, May 12th, 2022. Welcome back to another episode of the Man to Man Pod. Yours truly, Darius Butler. Won't have my co-host Antoine Bethea in the building today. He's handling some business. But we're gonna be rocking. Obviously, this is one of the slowest news cycles when it comes to the NFL. But plenty to talk about from the sports standpoint. Obviously, got the NBA playoffs going on. A great NBA playoffs, in my opinion. You don't know. This is how you know it's great. When you placing these bets night in, night out, and you are barely winning, that lets you know it's a good playoffs because we don't know what the hell is going to happen. I thought Golden State was going to go in. They said the game plan was whoop that trick. They end up getting their ass beat. We got the Heat Sixers. Their series continues tonight. Suns Mavs, and then that Bucks Celtics series. Crazy ending to Game 5 last night. We'll talk about it. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Tom Brady deal on the other side with Fox. We're also going to talk about this schedule release, this NFL schedule release that they are dragging out as long as possible to try to dominate the headlines whenever they can. No real F1 news today. You know, we got a race coming up in a little more than a week, so I'll jump back into that next week, probably Monday to start the show, because it'll be race week out there in Barcelona, Spain. But yeah, we got plenty to talk about, but definitely gonna need some interaction, some engagement. I need some comments, some questions that I can dive into and answer. I always enjoy that. So we're gonna have some fun today, flying solo. See y'all on the other side. Stop. There we go. Are we good? I just saw someone ask Ice. I didn't mention the NHL playoffs in the preview because I have not been watching. I've been following along my guys. You know, my guys over there with Pat, Nick. You know, the Hammer Down guys. They talk about hockey. Obviously, that's Hockey Talk, the best hockey podcast out there. So I've been kind of just hearing it from a distance. Haven't been watching it. I know my Panthers were up, though, over the Nationals. But from everything I've been hearing, it's been a great NHL playoffs, which it usually is. We had a debate about which sport had the best trophies. We all ended up on Lord Stanley's Cup. I had no idea that trophy's on a different level. But I have not been tapping into the NHL playoffs, even though I am a huge hockey guy, as some of you may know. But I haven't been tapping into it. But I guess since we're talking about playoffs, I'll just jump right into the NBA playoffs. And speaking of trophies, we can go there too. So the NBA will now give out trophies to the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals MVPs. Now, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP trophy will be named after the great Larry Bird, and the Western Conference Finals MVP trophy will be named after the great Irvin Magic Johnson. So I think my initial thoughts on it, I saw they're going to be handing these trophies out as well as trophies for winning the conference, I believe. So kind of similar to what they do in the NFL with the Lamar Hunt trophy. But I like it. I like the idea. I do like the idea. Now, this is something else that's going to come up in the legacy talks, which is kind of, in some people's opinion, ruining basketball, and how basketball is covered. But this is definitely going to be a part of the conversation now. Who won the Western Conference Finals trophy? Steph never won the Finals MVP, so he can't be. So there are going to be some more of those ridiculous conversations, but there's some dope trophies. I should have sent Tone the grab a picture of all four of them. There are some pretty dope trophies, but I like it. More trophies to go up in someone's trophy room. So that'll be dope. Let's jump into some of these playoff series from last night. We'll start with the Bucks Celtics. So Bucks now have a 3-2 lead in this series. Giannis obviously had another tremendous game, like he seemingly always does. But it was more to Giannis. Down the stretch, Bobby Portis had a huge offensive rebound, a putback after he blew a layup, airball layup, matter of fact, earlier in the quarter. But that's the game. That's life. You fall down, you get back up. So Bobby Portis, one of the fan favorites, obviously won over a ton of fans last year in the playoffs and in the finals, playing his role tremendously. And then Drew Holiday, who has been, obviously Greek Freak's most consistent and best running mate. Chris Middleton is obviously out. He will probably be back next series if they advance, but he's been out since the first series. And Drew Holiday, man, came up unbelievably clutch on the defensive side of the ball against the current, recently named NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Marcus Smart had a great block on him on the baseline, palmed it. Hey, come here, give me that. And then on the following possession, or maybe a couple possessions later, he ripped him at half court. Sure, some of you have seen the clip now. Jason Tatum running wide, open up the right sideline. But, a couple seconds left on the clock. Marcus Smart had the ball. Got ripped. Seems like Marcus Smart always got the ball in the clutch now. Tatum Brown, y'all might want to just take the ball from out of bounds. But big time plays from Drew Holiday. Obviously, he's been consistently one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. But like I said earlier, it starts with this guy. And this is a conversation that people, hey, I don't think it's a conversation at this point, honestly. Joker won the MVP, which he should have. He earned it. Embiid also could have won the MVP this year as well. And this dude right here, Giannis, Greek Freak, could have won it as well. 6 playoff games now with 40 points, 10 rebounds. Last night at 40 and 11. He sets the tone night in, night out. Now, you blow a 14-point fourth quarter lead at home, you're the Boston Celtics. How do you recover? I mean, that's tough. That's tough. I believe it's their worst home fourth quarter collapse in their history. But that's tough. That's tough to overcome. Now you're gonna have game 6 in Milwaukee. We saw how Giannis handled business last year in the playoffs, in the finals with that closeout game. And, I think he shows up and try to put the nail in the coffin in this game as well. So I'm gonna have the Bucks closing this one out at home. I don't think this series makes it back to Boston. I think they close it out in game 6 and beat the Celtics 4-2. But we shall see. We shall see, man. He's, like I said, what the hell do I know? I'll be the first one to tell you. I ain't got this shit figured out right now, guys. I don't. But but I'll tell you one thing I got figured out. That motherfucker over there in Milwaukee with 34, yeah. That's he one of them ones. So bus driver, no doubt about that. I think that series gets closed out. Speaking of another bus driver, my mob, the Heat, number 1 seed Heat. It's this game 6 will be back in Philly tonight, but 1 seed against the 4 seed Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, Embiid he's playing through a lot of shit right now. He's playing through the thumb. He's playing through the face, the orbital fracture, which is painful. Any type of fracture is painful, but I can imagine playing with essentially a broken face. And you saw him get hit last game. You saw him go down, thugged it out, kept playing, got back in the game. I barely missed time, honestly, but it's going to be something that probably comes up again. Probably, it's basketball. It's a physical game. You're going to get hits to playoffs. But he's been playing. I think, last game, a lot of people expected, myself included, okay, Joker win the MVP. Maybe Embiid gonna come out with something to prove. He gonna put the team on. He gonna drop 40 tonight. He gonna do this. Oh shit! James Harden showed up the night before. Is he gonna show up again? Now I already knew what time it was with that. Say get James back to Miami. He gonna go back to being, playing how he's been playing. I think that one performance that was an outlier. That wasn't the norm. That was the exception for James right now. That's not who he is right now. So they're going to need a huge, huge night from Embiid to stay alive. They will be at home, so they do have a chance. But we got a bus driver over there in Miami, Jimmy Buckets. And, Kyle Lowry, he missed last game. And, I wasn't happy with Kyle Lowry's performance early in the series, but he missed last game. Duncan got some more playing time. Duncan Robinson, Oladipo, Matt Strus showed up, hit a bunch of threes. Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero. We got a bunch of guards that can play and play well. So putting a parlay together, damn near impossible. You don't know who's going to show up, who's going to be that guy or those guys that show up for the Heat outside of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's going to show up every night. And Bam even played better, these last couple of games. So I got my Heat closing this series out on the road in Philly. We got to play with some sense of urgency. We got to – and we blew the doors off these guys last game. So we got to – now these playoffs, this home court advantage has been a real thing. So it's going to be tough to beat them on their home court. But I'm right with my Heat to close it out. Can you feel the heat down in your soul? I feel the heat down in my soul. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Can you hear it? I can hear it. It's Miami Heat. We can't be beat. It's Miami Heat. Only the OGs know about that. Y'all don't know about that. All right, now that we got that, and I got that off my chest, I should have saved that for when we close the series out. That was a little preview. Y'all get the full performance later. Mavs. Dallas Mavericks at home. Down 3-2. Suns on the road. Chris Paul. So Chris Paul and AB's not here to defend him today. But Chris Paul, a lot of top 5 point guard conversations, a lot of point guard, a lot of this, a lot of that. Chris Paul and he done laid a few eggs in this series already. Now this is a big game. They can close it out on the road, and if not, get it at home. Suns probably ultimately win this series, but Chris Paul let's show up in the big game, Chris Paul. Let's show up in the big game. That's all I'm saying. Let's show up in the big game. Because everybody, as soon as I start talking that shit, no, we're not gonna disrespect Chris Paul. But AB ain't here to defend him, so I ain't gonna go too. But CP3 got to show up, big dog. That's all I'm saying. Number one seed by 8 games, wasn't even close. Got the coach of the year, Monty Williams. You got Ayton, force on both ends of the court. You got Miles Bridges, defensive player of the year candidate. Crowder, he maybe banged up now. Devin Booker. Now, Devin Booker is, in these big game clutch moments, I go back, I flash back to the finals with Drew Holiday he kind of clamped that shit up in the clutch too. So Book got to show up in the big games and Chris Paul got to show up in the big games. I know people don't like the legacy talking to this, that, and the third, but I just call it how I see it. Those are the things that have to happen. They got to close this out because Luka's a special talent. Now, Luka, for him and for them to have some success, I think he got to not take a back seat, but they got to move that ball offensively, man. If you watch the Mavs play, when they don't move the ball, when it is straight Luka ball, yes, he's going to score. He's going to have gaudy numbers. It's going to look amazing on the stat sheet. Probably it is historically great, I believe, his points per game and shit like that in the playoffs. But that's not going to beat a Suns team in a series. You look at the numbers. When he averages, I think 26 or something like that or less, or 30 less, he usually win the game. When he's up over 30-something points, they're losing in this series at least. So you got to move that ball. Brunson got to step up and show up. The others, as Shaq will call them, got to hit their shots as well because Luka is a gifted passer and puts guys in great positions. But you got to move that ball around. You have to move that ball around and give your team an opportunity to show up for you. And then when the big moments are there, that's when you put the team on your back and make those plays. But that's going to be the recipe for success for Jason Kidd and Luka and the Dallas Mavericks to win this game in this series. But if Chris Paul shows up, Devin Booker shows like that, they got a mob. Cam Johnson is effective on both ends of the court. I mean, they got a mob up and down that roster. The best roster, I believe, in the playoffs right now. So they got to get it done. They got to get it done because they be back on Monday. If they don't get, we're going to have to talk about old CP Thrizzle. Grizzlies. Woo! The Grizzlies Warriors. This got ugly. I was talking to Tone. I was talking to a producer, Tone. Shout out Tone, too, man. Happy birthday, Tone. It was his birthday yesterday. A lot of people made 11th birthdays. Tone, my brother, Real, my closest brother, age-wise, Real. He had a birthday yesterday. My guy Cam Newton's birthday was yesterday. I'm sure some other people too. But yeah, so shout out. Man, let me see if we get Tony. Tony, you want to jump in real quick, man?
What's up, man?
There you go. Always repping the WNBA.
I am.
How was your birthday, man?
It was good. It was great. Went out to dinner with the fam. Took my daughters to basketball. They have a private trainer that Jazz. He's a great dude. He works with them. So each girl had an hour with him. So we did that, and then we came home, opened some presents. I got some cool things. I'm gonna take my son to a Rockies game next week.
I saw you got some concert tickets too.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite comedians, Bert Kreischer. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's hilarious. He rips his shirt off the machine. He's hilarious guy. He's actually from Florida. He's a Florida State guy. He was named the biggest party animal in college the year he was a senior. You ever seen
big time?
Yeah, you ever seen the movie Van Wilder? Has Ryan Reynolds in it?
I haven't. I definitely heard of it. Never
seen based off of him, like his that article.
Shit, okay.
So yeah, and he's done some cool stuff ever since too. So he does a lot of Rogan stuff. So, but yeah,
somebody just said the machine. He must be a big Tone Gaines, the machine.
Yeah,
all caps.
Yeah, his biggest story that he ends with is called The Machine, and he's called The Machine. He basically robbed his classmates with the Russian mafia on a train in Russia. It's an interesting story.
Wait, he really that was real? Or that was like a prank?
It's a real story. They're actually making it into a movie. Like they filmed it already. Wow, you should check him out, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, I got to check him out now, man. You never know what you're gonna get here, man. Let me go check him out. But that's what's up. I see you got the WNBA hat on. How has the season been so far? I've been I've been caught up with NBA playoffs, F1, and it's just everything right now. I've been tapped in yet, but how's the season so far?
So far, so good. Definitely, the rookies are actually making a real big impact. The number one pick for Atlanta, Howard, she's crushing it. Doing great stuff. They actually, I think, had their first home game yesterday. I think it sold out, I believe, is what I saw Renee post. So that's awesome. And then
I saw Renee on the sideline of a game as well.
Yeah. And then number 2 pick for Indiana. She's crushing it. Indiana's got like 3 rookies. They're not winning games, but they look a lot better than they have in the past.
Yeah, 3
and
rookies.
Then last night we got treated to the UConn Goat Fest. You had the Storm play Phoenix, and it was a pretty good game. But
all right.
So yeah, so we've had some good games, and there's now talk of expansion.
I saw that
in here. So and then Mike Evans said he was interested in ownership of a Houston expansion team potentially. So some good talks there. We need some more.
That'd be how are the Aces? I know the Aces loaded up. They went and got their coach. How are they looking right now?
They did lose last game. I think it was Tuesday. They lost to the Mystics. But the Mystics made a great comeback. They have the best player, Elena Deladon's, I think, still the MVP of the league, basically, when she's healthy.
If people don't know, she committed to UConn.
Yes, yeah,
out of high school, and that was crazy because I was at UConn at the time.
Oh,
and she came, and I don't know the full story behind everything, but I know she came. She played maybe 1 5-on-5 thing, and then she was out of there. And I know it was some stuff where she was kind of forced into, or she felt like she was kind of forced to play basketball, wanted to play volleyball. It was a lot of stuff, but I'm glad to see she's back on top. Still a Gino. I kind of halfway claim her. But glad to see she's back healthy and doing her thing, man.
She's awesome. She actually it's actually a really wholesome story, kind of why she left. She was there for 48 hours. She kind of left in the middle of the night. Her sister was born. Her sister was born blind and deaf, and she has I think she's on the autistic spectrum, cerebral palsy. The only way they can interact is basically sign language, hand over hand, and so she was like, I just didn't want to be that far away. So she came home to Delaware, sat out a year, played volleyball, and then found her love for basketball again through that. So and
she continued her career at Delaware, right?
Yep. She same place that Pops went.
Okay, yeah.
So Blue Hens.
Thank you, Tom. I should have did my research. Once she left UConn, I didn't know. I was sour, I was bitter, but I should have done my research. I'm glad Tom educated me.
She says it too. She's like, I shouldn't have committed and then left, but she said Gino was the best with this. She said Gino was make the right decision for you and no hate in the heart. So that's awesome. So but she's great, but they beat the Aces, and the Aces actually look really good though with Becky Hammond, a lot of up pace. I think they scored 100 in the first game and almost 100 in the second game, so they're pushing.
Yeah, they got a mob.
They
got a mob. They got
Tina Charles. Oh no, Tina Charles is over with the Mercury. I watched that last night.
Another UConn go. But hey, while I got you, you're also our resident baseball expert. So I saw this come across. I wasn't watching the game, but Christian Yelich, I'm familiar with who he is. Yelich. He hit for his third cycle in the game last night. I think they lost the game 14-11, but that's nuts. So for the people that don't know what a cycle is in baseball, tell the people what a cycle is and why it's so hard to do.
So a cycle is when you get a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. So basically you get all 4 abilities to hit. So you can either hit for a single, hit for a double, hit for a triple, hit for a home run. You do them all in one game, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. 27 outs. If the team's rolling, you're really only going to get 3 at bats. Christian Yelich hits towards the top, so he's pretty much always going to get 4 at bats, maybe 5. So you almost got to be perfect basically on the game. So the odds of it happening are so slim. Plus, you have to have enough power to hit the ball out of the park, but also have enough speed to kind of get a triple, and triples are hard. So it's a pretty impressive feat, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Hey, he done it 3 times, and that's tied for the most. So I'm hoping he gets another one this year to break that and get that for himself. But
he might
having he had a cool interaction with a fan in either last year or the year before.
Yeah, I think his bat went into the stands or something like that, and then he ended up giving him a signed jersey, a signed bat, brought him on the field, I think, for some BP and stuff.
Yeah.
Yelich is pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy.
Shout out Yelich, man. Shout out Tone too, man. Appreciate you, Tone.
Appreciate it. It's always fun hopping on, talking sports with
always, man. You think the Lions NFL releasing their schedule later on tonight? I mean, they've been releasing it for seems like a month now. Do you think the Lions get any primetime games outside of Thanksgiving where they,
We're going to get Thanksgiving. I would guess that we get maybe one more. It feels like it's a Monday. I feel like we get a Monday Night Football every like 3 years. I feel like we probably get like
y'all got Hard Knocks this year too, right? So
Hard Knocks. So we might get something. Maybe a Bears Lions game. You got Justin Fields against Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe they play. They try to make the storyline, so maybe there's something there.
Okay.
Ohio State, Michigan. That makes
something.
Man.
and the Lions just signed their number 2 overall pick too. That was a news thing yesterday. So
I do like their draft though. I was impressed. I feel
good draft.
Feel good.
Good draft. Yeah, I'm not gonna hate on it any more than I already have. Good draft. the future's looking bright.
As a matter of fact, I think I'll shout out Foxy. I have my Motor City. This is the year.
This is the year.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, MCDC, Dan Campbell, he was obviously, I think he got some good odds. I think they've been moving up. It's way more of a favorite, one of the favorites to win Coach of the Year. And I think if y'all got I'll say 7-8 wins. You get 7-8 wins, he'll get my vote if I had one. I'll tell you that much.
Do you think, this is a random question, but do you think you have to have a winning record to be the Coach of the Year?
Nah, man. I think we don't know what the rules are at this point. I feel like so. I like I said, if I had a vote, I would. If they go from they went 2 games last year. They were competitive though. They were competitive in a lot of games, but they bump up from 2 to 7 or 8. Especially without like a significant change at quarterback or anything. Second year coach.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would. Yeah, I would give him my vote.
Are we this year's Bengals? Is that what? No, I'm just checking.
Hey, don't. It sounded crazy, but Bengals. See the Bengals. Yeah. They had a terrible year the year before, but Burrow got hurt halfway through that year, so it wasn't like I think they were a good ball club that year before as well. Sure. But Chelsea, they get 7-8 wins. Dan Campbell got my vote.
Okay, I'm holding you to it.
But I appreciate you, Tone.
All right, later.
All right. But yeah, man. That's Tone, our producer, the man behind the scenes, making it happen. Throw some comments, some questions, concerns in the chat. I'm going to definitely get to them in the second half of the hour. But we finish these playoffs. Grizzlies, Warriors. Warriors up 3-2. They were up 3-1 until, last night or? Yeah, last night. Got that ass whooped. Steph Curry said going into the game plan would be to whoop that trick. If you guys are familiar with the Hustle and Flow movie, and that's the Memphis Grizzlies. It's one of their songs that they play in the arena to get everybody, you know what I'm saying? So they did that last night, actually. And Draymond Green actually participated with the crowd, which I appreciate. I respect. You got to be able to, you got to take the good with the bad. But they got that. I mean, it was ugly. I want to say 90 something, like 135. It was ugly. I went to sleep. It's hard to stay up for those 9:30, 10 o'clock tip-offs in the first place. But I definitely turned that one off. But it got ugly. But Golden State was my pick to come out of the West going into the season. So I'm not fucking leaving. I ain't fucking leaving. Golden State, I think they're gonna be back in the Chase Center, I believe, for game 6. So I think they close it out. Now they got beat up in the paint, they got beat up inside Paul's last game. Steven Adams, Jackson, Clark went to work inside the paint. So they're gonna have to figure that out. They play a lot of small ball, but the Grizzlies, they played big. And without Ja Morant, they wouldn't beat, the Warriors. It's kind of like why do they play? I want to say better, but it looks like sometimes better without Ja Morant. I love Ja Morant. Ja Morant been averaging 38, I think, against the Warriors this series. But that's great coaching, and that's a great roster as well, great young roster. But still picking the old heads. I'm still picking the savvy vets. Klay Thompson got to play better. Draymond got to fit. Steph, everybody got to play better. You lose by that. But Mike Brown, you better tighten up. Steve Kerr better get back from COVID. Mike Brown, he may be trying to, I don't know, trying to lose that Sacramento job before he even get it. But no, I like Mike Brown. But he better figure it out because they had 12 13 first half turnovers, I believe. And just, that's a team who leads the league in playoff assists and always moving the ball well and playing good team ball, playing good defense. So it's not looking good. Hopefully they get home, get their shit together, get a win, close this series out, and then handle business against most likely the Suns next series. And that'll be a fantastic series. But yeah, man. So I think I covered every series in the NBA playoffs, I believe. And my overall reaction from the playoffs as of right now, it's been a great playoffs right so far. No LeBron, no Kevin Durant after the first round. We had any other major injuries? Got Middleton's been out, and B came back, but it's been competitive. Obviously all of these series can go to 7. I only think that which series do I think goes to 7? If I had to pick one, it would be the Suns Mavs. I would bet on that one going 7. I think Bucks, they finish it out at home. I think the Heat finish it out on the road. I want the Heat to finish it out on the road. And then that Warriors could go 7 too. But I'm gonna go I had to pick one and only one. Suns Mavs. I think that one goes 7. But been a great playoffs. My betting hasn't been doing great. I actually got a couple of dubs last night. Went more towards those live bets. Might be where it's at for me going forward. You know what I'm saying? I watched the game, see the first half, maybe the first quarter, and I said, okay, this team like Milwaukee. Milwaukee was down maybe around like 10 at halftime, maybe 7, 8. I forget. But the spread was like maybe 8.5 at halftime, the live spread. And then I went and placed a bet at Bucks plus 3.5 because I had some favorable odds too. But I felt like they'll figure it out and at least make it a close game in the second half. And they ended up winning, so should have took a money line. But the lines right now for tonight's game, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, the Sixers are favored by 2 points tonight over the Heat. If you want to bet straight up on the Heat, they're plus 114 on money line, and then Phoenix. Dallas series, the Suns are favored by 2 points on the road. So the Mavs right now are plus 108. Let me look at a couple props real quick. Points prop for Booker. The points prop for Booker is set at 27.5. DeAndre Ayton 17.5. Chris Paul 15.5. Luka, his line is set at 33.5 points. Jalen Brunson, 19.5. He'll need to be over for them to win. And then Spencer Dinwiddie is at 9.5. Finney Smith, 11.5. All right, that's that. Okay, we'll be moving on to the schedule release tonight. Like I said, I believe 8 p.m. The full schedule will be released based on, the opponents already set in the NFL. And based on those opponents, you already have hardest and easiest schedule. Right now, the LA Rams have the hardest schedule, and these are based off the record of the team the year previous. So the easiest schedule, according to those metrics, will be the Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. But I don't really subscribe to that much. We see how much turnover happens in the off seasons, whether you went to the playoffs or not. But so much turnover happens, free agency, people retire and trades. So that year prior, like, it don't matter. People lost one games based off last-second field goals or a quarterback or somebody getting hurt in the middle. Like, means absolutely nothing, honestly. Brand new season, brand new year. Colts opponents. If you don't know, now you're about to know. Home opponents will be the Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans, obviously all divisional opponents. And then you got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those will be all of our home opponents. And then away on the road, obviously the first three, the divisional opponents, Titans, Jags, Texans. And then also on the road, we got the Raiders, the Broncos, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Vikings, and the Patriots. So the out of division opponents this year, we're playing the entire AFC West, and we're also playing the entire NFC East. And then we got the Vikings and the Patriots on there for a little bonus. So that's kind of, you look at the schedule. And as a player, keeps who asked for the coach info. Nobody. I gave the coach info. I don't care about the rest. Rest of y'all go find your schedule by yourself, your opponents for yourself. You see Zach, 12 plus wins for Indy. If I was the sports book, I would set our win total. I set it at 10.5 right now. I set it at 10.5 right now. If I was booked, I would set that at 10.5. But those are our opponents. Let me throw them up one more time since I know this is what we care about in here, coach opponents. And as a player, we look at the schedule. We look at the out of conference, out of division opponents, but you also look at when you're going to these places. So the schedule is a big deal. It's for, your family, your friends, people who plan on coming. You may know people in different cities, different whatever. And then you get these schedules. You want to see how many primes. So you want to see the cold weather games, right? So let's pretend like I'm a Colt and I'm looking at my schedule. I say, all right, on the road, because obviously we're going to be in a dome at home, but on the road, our cold weather opponents, we got the Broncos, we got the Giants, and the Patriots. Broncos, Giants, Patriots. Those are our only cold weather opponents. Because Titans aren't, Titans, Jaguars, Houston, Las Vegas isn't bad. Dallas, obviously, indoors, and they're in Texas. And then Minnesota's at the Dome. So you look at those. So you want to know, when are you playing those people? Because that matters. What else do you look at? Like I said, the out of division opponents, you look at those. You look at when your division games fall. This is for me at least. And the primetime games. And speaking of primetime games, I think Jim Irsay said, I hope I read this correctly, but that the Colts will finally have multiple primetime home games. So that's good news. That's good news for the Colts. Great news for the Colts. So multiple primetime home games. So we shall see. It'll be fun, though. They've been dragging this schedule release out all week. It all gets out tonight, and then everybody will start talking about different games. I think week 4 we may have week 3 or 4, Bucks, Chiefs. But we shall see. Jonathan, Triple J as we call him. That cold weather thing is not a big deal, DB, especially when we got the defense and running game that's built for inclement weather. It's not a big deal to you, John. Once again, I'm telling you, as a player, these are the things that I looked at as a former defender. The cold weather thing matters less to some people, more to others, but it matters. We do have some other news from the NFL. Tom Brady, this came out maybe a day, maybe 2 days ago. Reportedly, actually came out on the Fox earnings call. Their CEO announced this on their call that it was a deal struck between Tom Brady and Fox Sports. And when he was done playing ball, he's going to come and join the team. Now, the deal reportedly came out at 10 years, $375 million. Once again, once he decides to step away from football, which could be 1 year, could be 2, shit, could be 3. but this deal is allegedly on the table. And then there was some reports that came out, I believe, from Fox as well. It's kind of like, whoa. We're seeing some inaccurate information. Those aren't necessarily the numbers. So, we'll see if these are the numbers. Maybe not. 2 years from now, these numbers may be higher, or it may come in a little less. But it was crazy. The Athletic posted a graphic yesterday on their Twitter at the Athletic NFL. Tom Brady has never once been an analyst at any level, yet he is set to become the highest paid sports broadcaster. And on the list, they have Tom Brady, Fox Sports, $37.5 million. Jim Rome, CBS Sports, $30 million. That surprised a lot of people as well. Shout out to Jim Rome. Tony Romo, CBS Sports, $18 million a year. Michael Strahan, Fox Sports, $17 million a year. And then Stephen A. Smith with ESPN at $10 million a year. That's interesting. They don't have Pat on here, who I believe his deal with FanDuel came out at $30 million a year. I don't know. Maybe they don't consider him a sportscaster, but maybe, and there were some questions, maybe that it was some Pat McAfee effect on those numbers, on those Brady numbers. Because obviously Brady can go out and do his own thing. Now, is he going to be Pat on the mic? No, but maybe they say, all right, we're going to get this little bump. Just how you come in and do it with us. And then a lot of these, sports outlets were, had similar headlines as The Athletic. Tom Brady has never once been an analyst at any level. Yet, who cares? It's Tom Brady, bro. Like, it's Tom Brady, dog. Like, yes, he hasn't been an analyst at any level, and he's going to be the highest paid analyst. Does that surprise you? I think Peyton Manning, if he wanted to go in the booth, he would have probably been the highest paid once he entered. You saw Tony Romo once he went. It didn't take him long to get to, like, how wouldn't this dude be the high? Like, I don't know, because there's a lot of sports, broadcasters that have a ton of experience, and they stink in a lot of people's opinion. And it's people that come new to the booth and are great from the beginning. We had some of the group chats. My brothers, and one of my brothers was like, I don't think he's going to be good. I don't know. What you think? Yeah, I personally think he's going to be good. Obviously, you want to hear his insight. You want to hear, you saw him on the Manning cast. Hey, what are you thinking in 2 minutes? What are you thinking in the red zone? This interception just happened? What happened here? This sack just happened. All those different things and those situations that he's been through a million times in 25 years on the field. You want to hear that insight. So will he be polished as the other guys who've been in the booth 25, 30 years? No. Will people want to listen to him more than those other guys? Most likely. So not surprising at all. That Brady got that bad. I mean, if Michael Jordan decided to retire and go into the booth, I think he'd have probably been the highest paid broadcaster too. And it's a lot of people that hate Tom Brady. It's a lot of people that hate Jordan. A lot of people that hate LeBron, Serena. Usually when you're on that type of status, you got just as many haters, which is good for ratings. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's interesting though. And hey, let y'all know, I recently hired a broadcasting agent because calling these games is something I'm interested in doing. From the defensive side, obviously playing defense, playing most positions on the defense in the secondary. You got to be able to prepare for offense. You got to know how different offenses want to attack. You got to know obviously what's going on all over the defense, which I don't think is explained at nearly the level it should be and can be on Sundays when you're watching the game, when you're listening to the game. There's no reason in 2022 with all these analytics and next-gen stats and this, that, and the third, you still don't know the difference of someone getting beat for a touchdown, cover 3 or cover 4. Simple stuff is ridiculous. But anyway, I think I'll be all right in that booth. So keep your eyes open for a Florida man entering the booth near you. What else we got? We got Brady. We got the schedule release. Speaking of Florida, man, this is off sports topic, and this is where y'all should probably start throwing. We got 15 minutes there. This is probably where y'all should start throwing some questions in the chat. Comments, concerns. Let's get a little dialogue here. But I got something that has nothing to do with sports. Absolutely nothing to do with sports. Imagine yourself in this situation. You're on a plane, 11, 12 passenger plane, little private plane, and the pilot starts to have an emergency episode. And you got to get this plane on the ground. You may be up there with your wife. You may have a kid. You may, whatever the situation is, you got to get in the cockpit now and now land this plane. Now, immediately for me, because, hey, what type of, I got no experience. I played some Grand Theft Auto, played some little COD in my day. I played some playing games back in the day. Can I follow instructions from, FAA? But this happened to a Florida man. Listen in.
In a serious situation here. My pilot has gone incoherent. I have no idea how to fly the airplane.
2 people on board the 12-seat single-engine Cessna coming from the Bahamas. The pilot suffering some kind of medical emergency.
Number 333 Lima Delta, Roger. What's your position?
I have no idea. I can see the coast of Florida in front of me, and I have no idea.
Sources tell ABC News the controller involved happens to be a certified flight instructor with Cessna experience.
Number 3 Lima Delta, no problem. Just continue to stay wings level, maintain 5,000, and follow the coast, and we're going to try to find you here on the radar.
First, they had to track the plane down. Then, the hard part.
I have no idea how to stop the airplane.
Our affiliate WPBF getting this exclusive video of the plane miraculously landing safely.
Did you say the passengers landed the airplane?
That's correct.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, great job.
No flying experience.
The person on the airplane who had no aeronautical experience listened very carefully and obviously followed instructions with great calm. That's what made the difference.
And David, the pilot was transported to the hospital. No update on their condition. The FAA is investigating. David.
Wow. So immediately seeing this, I'm thinking like, damn, I'm pretty calm. I've been in some pretty high pressure, high heart rate, high, adrenaline situations, outside of football. But obviously football, that was something you had to do week in, week out. But immediately thought, damn, would I have been able to land that plane? I don't know if it would have looked that good, but I'd say this, we would have got on the ground and I would have got home. And whoever was on that plane would have too. But shout out to this man, this Florida man. I was in the county I live in. So I'm glad he landed and didn't land anywhere near us. But man, and what the FAA guy or whoever spoke after said, him being calm under pressure and being able to, you heard how calm he was on the radio, like, hey, this is going on, and hey, like, no flight, and being able to follow those instructions under that type of pressure. I'm with you, Zach. Give that man his wings ASAP. But that's impressive. I know a lot of y'all are probably passed out. And that's, it's fight or flight, baby. And that time I would have had to do a little both. But you're right. You're right, Tone. I'm in the moment. It's good. It's a good part about being caught up in moments, honestly, because sometimes you just gotta be where your feet are. As an old coach of mine used to say, be where your feet are, okay? So don't be somewhere and be thinking about 10, 20 different other things. Take a deep breath. The worst that can happen is obviously you crash, you die, but that's kind of what's supposed to happen in that situation. So, hopefully that never happens to anybody in here. But awesome Florida man story. Let's see what kind of questions y'all got before we get up out of here. Somebody said, what the hell? I'm looking for the parachute. Selfish. That's selfish, man. I'm looking for no damn parachute. Selfish. We got to get everybody gets home, B. How did he get in the cockpit? Good question. Depends on the plane. Depends on the plane. All right, Bob. Bob, you talked about how you look at the schedule, noticing cold weather games and primetime games. Could you talk about how a primetime game affects you versus a normal Sunday afternoon game? So that's an interesting question. And that's a very interesting question. So depending on the team you play for, right? Because most teams, well, I won't say most teams, but a lot of teams, you got a schedule where the majority of your games are 1 o'clock kickoffs. So you got your routines. You know, you go to obviously the hotel the night before. You know, you wake up, let's say you catch the 10 o'clock bus to the stadium. So you have your pregame meal before that. You know, whatever routine you go through. And that's, let's say it's 17 games now. So let's say that's the case for 13, 14 games. So that's kind of your routine. That's your, and athletes and people in general, but, you know, especially athletes are, you know, very ingrained in their routines. You know, you may have a stretch person, you may have this, you may have that, whatever that comes in town, take care of business. And that's easy to do. So once you have a prime time game, obviously that changes. Let's say it's a Monday night. So it's better for your body. You get that extra day of rest, but now your routine is a little different. So now, you know, you wake up, you know, on Monday and you have that whole day in front of you. So what do you do that whole day? You take up naps, you go for a walk, you do this, you do that, and then you get to the stadium. And then there is a difference in knowing that it's kind of, I don't know if anybody, I'm sure a lot of people in here have experience at a tournament, right? Some type of tournament, volleyball, basketball, whatever. And let's say it's 3 or 4 courts. And you're playing your game, and it says a big tournament. You're playing your game, but you know it's 2 or 3 other games going on, right? Now, as that tournament gets more condensed, and now everybody's watching court 1. So this is the championship game. Everybody's watching court 1. Not only are the fans watching court 1, but all the players. You know how the other teams, you know, you go win or lose your game, and you go sit in the stands with your team, and you watching, you sweat. The other team perform. So now that's what's happening in the NFL as well. So everybody that's played Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, all those players are somewhere. We used to get together as a DB group and watch Monday Night Football together. So that's why Monday night, Sunday night it's different. So it's just different. You know, more eyes. You know, all of your fans, your family, your friends are gonna be watching. You know, all the people rooting against you are gonna be watching, and that's why you see people perform differently on those stages now. That's team 1 that you're on, right? Let's say 13 out of 14 typically every year are 1 o'clock kickoff. Now, my first 2 years in the league, I played for the Patriots. And a 1 o'clock kickoff was kind of out of the norm. Like we had obviously, you know, just Belichick and they, you know, won multiple championships at the time. And Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, all these names that you're getting primetime games. You know, you got one of those quarterbacks, you got a good team. Chiefs, they're getting a bunch of primetime games. You know, Chargers probably, you know, obviously the Bucks. So every week is kind of different. Sometimes it's a 1 o'clock kickoff. You may have 5, 6, maybe 1 o'clock kickoff games, but you got 4 o'clock games. You got Sunday night. Everybody gets that Thursday night game. So we forgot about that. You may have 2 or 3 Monday night games depending on the year. So as a Patriot, it was like whatever that week was, that's what that week was. There was no real routine. But if you play for a team that, you know, stinks, your routine is, hey, get up, 1 o'clock kickoff for something, we done for the day. So that it's a lot of different things that go into playing or not playing primetime games. West Coast games, that's a whole different ball game. But I hate teams that still try to leave the night before on Saturday to go to West Coast games. Like, nah, bro, let's get over there Friday. Let's get a night's sleep, go through our Saturday, walk through whatever we're going to do, and then get another night's sleep and then wake up on Sunday or Monday and play that game. I hate it. Like we did that. I want to say my last year in Indy, we did that on a Sunday night game against the Seahawks, and we got smacked. Maybe that had nothing to do with it. Maybe it did. I know mentally sometimes it's like placebo effect. Does it really have something to do with it, or you just think it does? So either way, it really does. So we took that trip, Saturday, and I remember talking to coach about it too, or somebody like, why don't we go the day before? Like, what's the, the doctors say, going east to west, it actually doesn't affect you and stay up on the plane, all this other shit. But, hey, I guess they smarter than I am. But, this was, so Nakiba just said, some teams are using sleep experts to help plan travel. Talk to your players, talk to your veteran players. Talk to people who have been in the league for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You don't need to talk to sleep experts. You trust me. Just ask your players, and they'll probably tell you, let's get out there a day earlier. Let's have a normal day and another normal day in the night, and then go to sleep and wake up, because it completely throws off. But hey, like I said, I don't get paid those bucks to make those decisions. But let's see what. It's a good question though. Rutledge, does the game Rowdy 13? Does the game getting flexed throw people off too, or is that more kind of known as a possibility? I wouldn't say as much of a throw off. Then once again, the better teams typically are used to playing, all around the clock. So it's like, hey, you're looking at it's you may have, like I said, 5 of these type games, 2 of these type. So it's different games than just a terrible ass team. Boop, 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 boop. Off the rails, Tone and Gems. If you weren't able to do a man-to-man game cast and had to add a retired offensive player to talk to offensive side, who are some of the players you think would be best talking ball? It's a good question. No, Jeff Schwartz is good. He works with Fox Sports, but he was an offensive lineman. Offensive linemen are, really smart. Rich Ornberger, one of my former teammates. I think Dan Orlowski would be good. Obviously, he calls games. He played 12 years in the league as a quarterback. Matt Hasselbeck. I think Matt Hasselbeck would probably personally be my pick. Matt Hasselbeck, Reggie's coach, never be. Yeah, I think, probably Matt Hasselbeck. And those other guys I mentioned as well. Let me see. Let me get one more. No, I'll do 2 more. You trying to get in the booth for college games or mainly NFL? I'm going to get in the booth NFL. College, I may do some college at some point, but my ultimate goal and what I'm much more interested in NFL and professional football than I am the college game. Jeremy Blair, he's been talking about the Ravens a lot. D-Buddy, you're a fan of Lamar, Florida, of course. Said not to be a fan of him. I'm a huge fan of Lamar. Would love for him to get his money before the season starts, but he's betting on himself. He's representing himself, so never rooting against that. But that team, man, probably my pick. Not probably. I think that's my pick. That's my pick to win the AFC North this year. Obviously, we're going to see how available Deshaun Watson's going to be as far as the season. Will he get suspended? Will he be able to play the full season? That would obviously change things. But Ravens getting back healthy. They had a really good draft. Getting Marcus Peters back. Signed Marcus Williams at the safety position. Drafted Kyle Hamilton. Got Lindenbaum across the O-line. Went and got Travis Jones in the 3rd round out of UConn, who I thought should have been a 1st-round pick. Obviously, Marlon Humphrey still back there. I think he's going to be a home run draft pick too. Queen, they got some good pieces over there. Signed Calais Campbell back. Offensively, obviously you lost Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman going into his 2nd year. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the game. Love Lamar, man. Just got to stay healthy and continue to improve his play. He's won at a higher clip than damn near anybody else at this point in his career, and I think he'll continue to do that. and every player in the league has weaknesses, especially every young player. So him, just like all the other young quarterbacks around the league, he's got to continue, adding tools to his toolbox. J.K. Dobbins coming back. Yeah, it's a lot to like about the Ravens. My pick right now to win the AFC North, which should be a competitive division. Obviously, the Bengals, Super Bowl runner-ups. Got the Browns, brand new quarterback, $230 million guarantee with D. Watt. Steelers, they just drafted a quarterback in the first round, Kenny Pickett. Obviously signed Mitch Trubisky as well. Defensive player of the year with TJ Watt. I think they got to pay Fitzpatrick. They got some, holes over there. But Ravens will be my pick right now. Yeah, man. So we good. We good. Appreciate y'all as always. Tap in on Monday. AB should be back. Couple of these NBA playoff series should be closed out. Since I'm here, get a merch giver. I'm gonna get a DB hat. You can buy these at DariusButlerShop.com, by the way. But I'm gonna give one of these out with the pretty easy trivia question. How many pick sixes did I have in my NFL career? How many pick sixes did I have in my NFL career? If it's in the chat, I'll see it in the chat. Or you can respond to me on my Twitter. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen. At there's Jay Butler with the correct number. And y'all just throwing random numbers. It got to be the correct number. Here it goes. Nakiba Walker was first. Mike Richards was second. Zach. 4 is the correct answer. 15 is the total interceptions, but four pick sixes. So Nakiba won it. 12. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give away 3. Nakiba, Zach, and Mikey Richardson. You got to get in contact with you. Matter of fact, hit the email. Let me find the email real quick. So you 3 hit the email. The mailbag, db22ab41@gmail.com. Shoot me your information, and I will send you those hats over, man. But hey, appreciate y'all for rocking with me. This is true. It should have been a bonus part of it. Should have been 5. Should have been 5. I probably should post that video, but it should have been 5. I had another pick 6 against Denver, which would have been my greatest career highlight. Gee, shit, like I was supposed to blitz. I end up saying, F the blitz. I see something when picked off a bubble route, and I was going the other way, and pop, pulled that hammy. Blew a tire. Denver 2016. So yeah, that hut. But hit the email, send me your information. So everybody got the right answer at the same time. Nakiba, Zach Batram, and then Mikey Richardson. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. See y'all on Monday. See y'all on Monday, man. We up out of here. Well, I'm up out of here. Gone. All right, Mike, I saw you said you're international. That's cool. I got you. I know how to get it there. I got you. I'm saying this work go international, babies, no borders. But y'all hold it down. Obviously, go holler at Pat and the boys. See y'all on Monday, man. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your weekend. Take care of yourself. Take care of your physical. Take care of your mentals. And take care of your chicken. We out of here.